This video is going to show you how to use the FleetSync Send data features from inside of RadioLog. So you can see on the screen here on the left I have a live video of the two mobile radios attached to dispatch computer, and on the right I'm running RadioLog. You can see I've already called in two different portable radios, identified them both with Team 101. So the most common place to use the FleetSync Send features is by right-clicking a team tab. When you do that, you'll see this FleetSync item that'll expand into a separate menu of options. So there's a lot of things here. Let's read through them from the top. The first one, you can send a text message to all of the devices on this team. After that, you can send a text message to any individual device on this team. And after that, you can request location from any individual device on this team. The filter options below that are already there from before, so we won't be talking about those today. So the simplest one to look at first is send text message to one individual device on that team. Left click that and see what happens. It'll ask you for the text of the message you want to send. Take a look at the notes here. There's a length limit and also the date and time are automatically included, so you do not need to type the date or time right here in your message. Send a simple message. When I hit OK, you'll see this warning that pops up. Take a few seconds to read what that's saying to you. The basic concept is that you don't want to be sending this extra FleetSync data burst noise onto police channels, sheriff channels, or fire channels. Really, you only ever want to be sending it on SAR channels. So before I hit OK to proceed, I'm going to look at my two mobile radios, make sure they're both set to SAR channels. If one of them is set to listen to a sheriff's channel, you would want to tune away from that before you hit send and then tune back to that after it's done. So I see they're both on SAR channels. I'm going to hit OK and watch the radios. We'll see what happens and then we'll describe it. Okay, so what happened was you saw that a message went out. The red light is transmit on the top radio here. It got back a message after that. It received something. So the way the send text message works is that the portable radio out in the field, if it hears it, it will send a response back, an acknowledgement back. It's automatic. The user in the field doesn't have to hit push to talk at all. They probably didn't even know it happened until their radio starts beeping that they have a new text message. So this pops up a box saying that it was in fact confirmed because it got the good acknowledge message. You can close that and you notice that it does say up here, delivery was confirmed. So let's show another of these send features. We're going to right click this again, go to FleetSync. This time we're going to send a text message to all the devices on this team. So when I left click that, basically it's asking the same thing as before. It gives you a list just to confirm of which devices it's sending to. Same max limit, length limit, and date and time still automatically included. So I'm going to type another simple message. When I hit OK, I'm going to see the same warning. That is going to show up every single time for now because it is important every single time. Both my radios are on SAR channels, so I'm going to hit OK. Again, we'll just watch the radios to see what happens, and then we will describe it. Okay, so you saw first the top radio sent out a message, got an acknowledgement. Then the second radio, the lower radio, sent out a message, got an acknowledgement. And here's the summary that it gives you. Both of those two radios, delivery was confirmed. So you can close on that. And you see also both of those showed up as a new entry in the RadioLog. Delivery was confirmed to each device. So let's show you how requesting GPS location works. Again, from the right-click menu on a team tab. So requesting location from this device, left-click that. Same warning. It's important every time. FleetSync noise data will go over this channel. I see both of my radios are on SAR channels, so I'm okay. Watch the radios and we'll describe what happens in a second again. Okay, so the radio sent out the GPS location request. and the radio in the field automatically responded with the data and a confirmation. And then RadioLog program here says, yes, I did successfully get that confirmation. Here's the coordinates, and I automatically created a new RadioLog entry with those numbers in it, which you can see right here. So there's one more feature that you can use that does not show up in the right-click menu here. So the other place that you will get to the FleetSync Send functions is from the options menu, this little gear icon up at the top right. Click that, and then there's a new button, FleetSync Send Console. Just click that and take a look. So first thing, take a look at this little note down at the bottom. Any of these functions, except for Send to All, can also be done by right-clicking a Team tab. So the thing that you can only do from here is Send to All. So we're going to show you that first. You would checkbox Send to All. You no longer have to specify a unique fleet ID or device ID. It is going to ask you for a message in the same manner. And when I hit apply, it'll show us the same warning. And when I hit OK, we can see what happens on the radios. Great. So that's all it does. It leaves this Send console open in case you want to do more things from here, but we don't, so we can close it. And we can close the options window as well. We'll describe what happened. You saw that it sent out a message on the top radio, but it didn't receive anything back. The green receive light never lit up. Then after a few seconds, it sent out a message on the bottom radio. Same thing, it did not receive any confirmation. That's because when you're broadcasting, you're sending to all the radios that are out there. You don't want to wait for a response from any of them. So sending to all, it just takes a note here that it's sent to all devices, but there is no confirmation that anyone actually received it. Okay, that covers all of the FleetSync Send data features in normal operation. So what we're going to show you now is what happens when the radios do not receive the messages correctly. The easiest way to show that is actually setting these mobiles to a different channel. So just set that to one of the repeaters and set this to another different channel, and you'll be able to see what it looks like when the acknowledgement does not come back clean. So let's go ahead and try to send a text message again. Test 4. Okay, we know they're both on SAR channels. Bowman is a SAR channel. Watch what the radio is doing. Okay, so that was a little complex and obscure, definitely. So let's describe what happened. It tried first on the top radio because that is the radio that device was most recently heard from with, because it was set to TAC2 a few minutes ago. So that's the one it tried first for that device. It tried sending on this Bowman channel now, and it never heard back from that device because that device is still set on TAC2. So what Kenwood does, when it doesn't get confirmation back immediately, it waits a second and waits for a second or two, and then it tries to send again. Then it waits for a second or two and tries to send a third time. If it doesn't hear back after that third time, it makes that loud beep you just heard and that display you just saw. So the program says, okay, it wasn't working on that radio, but I have another radio plugged in. Let me try on that one just in case. So it hops over and it tries to send on this other radio. Turns out that radio actually was tuned to TAC1 right now, so it heard the message, sent back the acknowledgement just fine on this secondary radio. So that's a long way to say the actual message did get through and he did get delivery confirmed. So you can close that and you can see the message came up, the log entry came up, delivery confirmed. Now let's try the other radio because that's tuned to TAC2, which neither of these two mobile radios are set to right now. So we'll see what that looks like. This time I'm trying to request location from the radio that's not tuned to either of these channels. Gives the same channel warning again. Watch what the radio did. Okay, so what happened in this case? It first sent out on the bottom one because that was the preferred channel, preferred radio that radio was heard from on most recently. It sent it once. It only sends a GPS location request once. It never heard back. So it waited for its 8-second timeout. Then it hopped over to the alternate radio, sent out the request once, and never heard back. After it never heard from that after 8 more seconds, then this message popped up. And you could look and see what that says. There are a few reasons that a radio wouldn't respond for location request. Either that radio in the field was off, or it was on, but it was set to a different channel, of course. That's what's happening right now. Either of those first two basically mean it wasn't listening. The third option, it was on and it was set to that channel, but it never got a GPS fix. So if it never has a GPS fix, it will not try to send back any information, any acknowledgement or coordinates. If it has a stale GPS fix, meaning it used to have a GPS fix a few minutes ago, but now it doesn't anymore, it will still respond with coordinates, but the program here will know, oh, it's a stale location fix. I'm not going to try and update the locator, the SAR-TOPO locator. So we can close that message. And then let's see what happens if we try and send a text that's not going to get through on either radio. Do that. Warning's good. When I hit OK, just take a second and watch what the radios do again. Then we'll describe it. Okay, so it tried first on the lower radio. That was the preferred radio for this device. It tried 3 times since it never got back an acknowledgement, and then it gave up, gave you that loud beep. Then it hopped over to the alternate radio. Tried that 3 times, never got a response, gave a loud beep. And then ultimately, the final message is your message did not get through because neither radio confirmed it. Okay, that should finish showing you all of the FleetSync Send data functions.